Hello everyone.
Slavik.
So my friend, I moved to Osaka and he has like a business trip in Osaka. So we decided to do a podcast, and this time we're gonna talk about life in general in Japan and working as an independent person. Touch a bit of other stuff like relationships and something interesting. So we're gonna start. Let's get started. So maybe you can introduce yourself, like what you do, and
Sure. So I'm Slavik Kowalewski. In different languages, the name is pronounced differently. So in Japanese, it would be Slavik Kowalewski. But it's probably faster just to say Sua.
Sua.
I sometimes do it, when you book a restaurant or something. I'm originally from Poland, and then I moved to Germany when I was 10. So I have both kind of nationalities. And then I started I was in Holland for a while, a little bit in Europe here and there, and Paris a bit, and then I moved to Japan when I was in 2006.
Wow, that's pretty long.
It's already pretty long.
I was in elementary school, like 6th grade. So what brought you here in Japan?
I mean, the first time that I was here basically really as a kind of tourist, but then I was studying in Amsterdam at the conservatory, and I came here for a concert. And basically the first day it happens quite a bit. I feel that when you arrive in Japan, it's like this parallel universe that you think, how is this even possible?
Really?
Yeah. I think a lot of people have this. And I knew on the first day that I'm going to move here. Somehow I was like, okay, I have to stay here. So it was this kind of, let's say, love at the first sight. But at the same time, I was also very much into a lot of Japanese cultural stuff, like movies. There used to be a lot of famous movies in Europe that I was into, and music, of course, contemporary stuff. And since I was studying music, it would be just, doing the perfect thing, move to Japan and work there for movies. But I mean,
So you started as a kind of 9 to 5
No, I never done it. I mean, I was trying to apply for English teaching jobs. I came with a working holiday. So, you take anything.
I see. Working holiday. Okay.
But then I got rejected every single interview, and which is great, and I think fantastic, because then I had some sort of weird kind of trading job for a weird company.
Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese. It was not really it wasn't really proper, but and they wanted to get me the visa, but then the immigration office said, you can't have a kind of this work visa because you are an artist, because I have a music diploma, so you have to apply for an artist visa. And then I applied for an artist visa, and then they forced me to work in music, which is fantastic, because this is exactly what I wanted, So I was kind of lucky that I didn't get into this 9 till 5 situation, because I feel once you're stuck there, it's going to be very hard to get out of there, because you just, you become comfortable and you have no time to find anything else,
Yeah, like what you like, okay.
So I would encourage anybody who wants to come to Japan and doesn't want to work for a Japanese company with insane working hours. There are ways. So really try to figure out what you want, and then it will just come. I think the artist visa is a really good option.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. So my people around me, the foreigners, they are either a normal, 就労ビザ、9 to 5 job visa. あとは、business management, which is for entrepreneur, and working holiday. I think another one, English teacher, I think JET program or something. So that's what I know. But artist visa, I know that it exists, but I don't know how it works. So maybe you can tell me about that.
I mean, it might have changed a bit, but maybe not, because a friend of mine also got it again. So when you have an artist diploma in whatever art it is, but you have to have a university degree, then you can just basically apply for it, showing them what kind of income you would have. It's an estimate, so you don't really need to have a contract or anything, Of course, it helps when you have a few companies that write you a recommendation letter, a suisenjo or something, but I mean, it works. It worked for me, and it even worked for my friend the other day. Then of course with the renewal you will have to prove that you actually have some income.
How often do you renew?
I think the first time was 1 year, then it was 3 years, then it was 5 years.
なんかあれだね。じゃあ、it's just like full-time job visa, the renewal.
I don't know. What I did was you go, you fill in the form, and then you just show them your taxes. That's what it is. Because I think because when you work as an artist, they will basically demand that you work as an artist, so that you work in your profession. So you cannot really be an English teacher.
True.
You cannot be a trader. You cannot do any other things, which is also kind of good because you can focus on your stuff. But of course, sometimes it's hard to get jobs as an artist. So it's a this or that situation. But when you're good in what you're doing, and you make enough money, and then you show them how much you earn, there's no problem to renew it. I feel And then after 10 years, I switched it to my permanent residency.
Wait, 2 years?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
そうなんだ。
Yeah.
So when 10 years and how was what made you to apply the PR in Japan?
First of all, you don't want to go to that office anymore, which is dreadful. The one in Shinagawa, so you don't ever want to go there again. And then you don't want to reapply for visa all the time,
Sure.
And I was considering maybe buying some stuff like a house and getting loans, but it doesn't really change anything. To be honest with you, it really doesn't change anything. In our position, I feel when you're like freelance, you can also have an artist visa.
Right.
PR is exactly the same. They will just check your income, and then you will get only a certain amount on the tax that you really pay.
Okay.
So all the expenses that you can kind of claim, that doesn't really count as income.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you work for a company, and that's another advantage. When you work for a company, you can definitely get a lot of loans. It's much easier even to rent a house or anything. But I don't know. I prefer than not buying anything and have my freedom.
It's like always pros and cons. Yeah, my friend recommended me to buy a house in Tokyo, but I work as a freelancer. It's much harder, even as a Japanese person.
It's gonna be super hard. You have to pay in advance so much. And right now it's just so expensive. There's no point. There's literally no point.
Already expensive. So
just buy a house if you want in Atami or something. Inaka.
Yeah.
Then it's really cheap and it's affordable. Tokyo is just crazy, and you still might end up paying like utility fees 5,000 yen per month, which is ridiculous. It really doesn't make sense. I feel.
Yeah. So buying house, maybe not right now. I would think about it, but maybe if I would do outside of Tokyo, maybe still. It's not like super like inconvenient inaka, but like still accessible to Tokyo, like Atami or something.
Yeah. Or even maybe down in Shonan, where I live now. It's really nice, actually. It's a bit less expensive, and you have the nature, which is also really nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna visit his place, and we're gonna do another.
In Kamakura.
Yeah, we should do it. So you live in a house, you said?
Yes. So I was living in I came basically, and then everything started to work out. I started to write for commercials, some TV stuff. So, I had some bit of money. And then, of course, I moved already like straight away to like a tower mansion right by Shinjuku with view, this and that. But I also had a grand piano, so I needed to put it in. It was. He will explain more, but he is a composer, artist, pianist. So maybe you can touch that now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you do?
Oh yeah. So basically, I'm a musician. I studied classical piano, but then I always wanted to compose. So I also studied film music composition. And this is basically what I mostly make my income with. It's composition. So for whatever it is, if it's commercials, TV dramas, movies. Ideally would be movies, but whatever comes along, and also piano playing. I had a few jobs in the beginning at piano teaching, but then luckily that's over now.
Yeah. It's good to do like English teaching and that's some like piano teaching. you don't have any options.
Of course it's good.
easy to start, so it's always there for you. But if you know that you can make money out of other ways, and it might be better idea,
I think so. I think no, I don't have anything. I was teaching like crazy for the first 3, 4, 5 years. It was,
oh, you did?
Yeah. I was teaching everything. I like private, English lessons, piano, German lessons, whatever it is. But then somehow all the jobs started to become so demanding time-wise, and also like the money was not really getting
almost like minimum wage.
Yeah, so I was, and they all kind of fell apart, which is, and it was probably for the better, because I always feel that when something just stops, it's for the better, because then you have to find something else.
So how do you find your clients, and how do you do?
That's a question. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it was just you come to Tokyo and you only basically networking, drinking every night. You go everywhere, Tokyo Film Festival, events, everywhere, basically, and then you connect and keep drinking.
Yeah.
And then after a few years, you look at it and you have actually quite a big base of people that who were young, and then they also move up, and then somehow things work.
So I went through exactly the same process. So I work as a freelancer, and I started in a year ago, like when I quit 9 to 5. But before that, I was doing freelancer, I think 3 years ago. Yeah, for about 6 months, because I didn't know how to do it, So I returned back to corporate job, but I still kept that relationship. And while I'm doing 9 to 5, I always had like side hustles. So I was connecting to people, and I was doing different jobs on my side. And now, look at this, like I have people, and people trust me, and those people introduce me to other people for work. So I think I'm in a better position right now. Yeah. But I don't mind going back to 9 to 5 if any case. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I chose Osaka, just in case, I still get a good job. Right. So that's why I didn't choose my hometown Hokkaido, because Hokkaido, maybe like the salary will be half.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
Yeah. So I mean, maybe 1/2 or 2/3, something. Yeah. So I still want to be in Osaka because of the reason too. So
it looks also like a fun city,
Yeah, it is, and everything is just comfortable. Less people. It's not too crowded, but you have everything and accessible to international airport and Shinkansen, and also I get to explore Kansai area more.
Right.
In Tokyo, like Nara, Kyoto is like trip, but for me, weekend trip. So I can go there like for a weekend, and I also different people, and even in Osaka, I get to see Tokyo people because they come here, and I go there, and what else? Yeah, and people like you, and also foreign friends living in abroad. When they come to Japan, they always come to Tokyo and Osaka, Kyoto as well. So I achieve everything like just in Osaka too. So
not working 9 till 5. It pays off.
If I were doing 9 to 5, I cannot do. I have to be in Tokyo like for I don't know, for years, and like I was already getting tired of Tokyo life after 5 years. So I'm like, it's time to change, So, but what about you? You mentioned like living in Tokyo. How do you describe?
I mean, I know what you mean with getting tired, but for the music, it was the place to be, obviously. And then of course I got introduced to like agencies. I have now few agencies that I work with, and they're all in Tokyo. Yeah.
Like what kind of agency do you like?
It's a sakkyoka jimusho. It's like composers, like real, like just Japanese, basically Japanese kind of. I would say it's quite conservative-ish.
I can imagine that.
You know, so the way things work there is just the way things work there. I don't even question it, you know. So you can't really do
This
anything.
is Japan.
Yeah.
Follow this.
But for this, you have to be in town. You have to look, you know, have meetings, and a lot of times there was a lot of recordings, and you know, it all kind of leveled out right now.
Okay.
But you were saying 5 years. I was like, I could stay a bit longer. You know, I was still after 14, 15 years. I moved out. You know, that was a bit too much. I feel.
Where in Tokyo were you living in?
I was living in Higashi Nakano, which is a very nice kind of area, very central. I had this, as I said, I was living very close to the station with a nice, huge balcony, grand piano, and it was so convenient. I mean, you could be everywhere in 10
Like
minutes.
condo, right?
Yeah, condo.
With grand piano. Wow.
And it was born, so I could play anytime. At 2 o'clock at night, you could play a concert, no problem.
Wow.
And then what the problem is, though, you know, I had the view on Shinjuku. It was like the dream come true. And then they started building things in front of you, one after the other, and and it just came all closer, you know. And it was just, hey, what about my view? I was paying for the view kind of situation. So, and then also the sound, you know. At some point, I think I realized during Corona that the sound is just too much. The omnipresent sound all the time. This,
like within your place, or like how?
Just in general. In Tokyo, there's always some sound. I mean, in the city where I was living. Of course, when you live, you know, somewhere in kind of Juitakugai, maybe somewhere in like, I don't know, Ogikubo, somewhere a bit far, it's quiet. But in Tokyo downtown, I could not handle this anymore, you know. And also for your eye, I mean, we're talking about now, you know. Of course, when you like come to Tokyo straight, when you're like 20s, in your 20s, you want bring it on, you know.
Oh, every weekend Shinjuku. Yeah.
But also the fact that there's nothing green really, you know. There's no place
わかる。
where you can just like rest your eye. It just doesn't exist, you know.
わかる。So, when I was moving out of my former place in Tokyo, I had a soil. 土ってソイルって言うんだよね。Soil. And because I have plants, and I needed to discard some of them, but there is no place to do that. So it's illegal to discard, like, なんていうの? Discard your soil in the park, just a random park. You need to do it within your property. So
how are you gonna do it?
I know. And when you, and あとゴミの分別, like when you なんて言えばかな? So in Japan, a lot of cities has the rules to how you separate garbage.
Yeah.
And so soil is neither 燃えるゴミor 燃えないゴミ. Like we say burnable or non-burnable, and like because soil is a earth's property, so they say it's not burnable. It's neither non or burnable. Yeah. So it's not. It doesn't fit in their the criteria. So you need to so that I think all cities have certain days that they take soil that you want to give away, and it's so much work. And at the end of the day, I live in the earth, and I cannot even touch the soil. I cannot even return the soil to my home, like earth, like, which is crazy. Like that reminded me of how like the Tokyo is concrete jungle.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. I mean, it is fun for a while, you know, and it's true. Now I moved out to Kamakura, which is very nice, but you know, there's nothing going on there. In Tokyo, on the other hand, it's just insanity all the time. You have always something. So you know, if you want to meet people, if you want to explore things, if you want to do exciting things, it's there, you know. You have to be there. But it's just like, where do you draw the line? Some people never leave, but you know, I don't know, I'm an artist. I feel that I don't know, inspiration needs to come a little bit more
Same.
from outside nature or inside, but for that you need to focus.
Yeah.
Tokyo is just an overload of
Good point. Good
everything.
point. That's another reason why I moved out of Tokyo. So I had a good people and also bad experience and not much nature, and that I need to get more inspiration, and I want to focus on content creation more. And I'm like, I need space, both like physically and mentally.
Yes, yeah.
I need to put boundary, and I also want to just say bye to the bad memories and people I didn't like. So I'm just gonna change the place, you know.
It's a good call. It's a really good call.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you did it only after a few years, It's good.
5 years,
It's always
it's a
good
lot.
to change because then everything is new. So every day is exciting,
Yeah, and a lot of people said, "Hey, but your friends are mainly in Tokyo, and aren't you gonna miss them? And how are you gonna make friends in new place?" And I don't mind. I never thought that even because
Oh, no, it's easy, When you're alone, you're always not alone because you always meet people,
yeah, I
feel.
meet people and I go to Tokyo and they come to me and it doesn't matter, and they introduce me to new people, and yeah, so far it doesn't matter. I really enjoy here. I found my
Nice.
peace,
Yay.
because everything is Tokyo is convenient, but convenience and also so much the opportunities and 選択肢 but choices, but it doesn't make you happy all the time.
Well, it's opportunity. It's seemingly opportunities,
Yeah.
but it's also a bit of an illusion. You know what I mean? You
Sure.
think there's so many, but in fact there is not. It's you know what I mean? It's just like, oh my God, there's so many jobs, but actually,
You choose only one job.
yeah, but for what you specifically want and what you can specifically do, there's not that many. But of course, there's more than if you lived in Inaka.
Yeah.
So that's what it is now.
So yeah, that's a good point. So that's why I left Tokyo, and another reason I wanted to test is that I wanted to like Tokyo more. If you live there, and it's hard to appreciate the place or person, right? But if you live there, then you appreciate more. That happened to me with Hokkaido. I used to no, I don't like Hokkaido. I'm going to abroad and Tokyo. But now I like Hokkaido the most in Japan because I left there and I saw other part of the world, New York, Canada, and Tokyo, and now in Osaka. And I've been to all 45 prefectures in Japan, and I like Hokkaido the best after all the experience. So that's what happened to me, and I want to like Tokyo more. Yeah, that's another.
I know what you mean, because even now, I don't go to town every week, but every month it's like, whoa, this is so much fun, But living there would be like, oh,
yeah.
I think the grass is always greener, what they say.
Yeah.
Like you just leave and then.
So yeah, I think more inspiration in Tokyo when I'm far from there, because when I'm in Tokyo now, the time is limited because I have to go back to here, and because of that I observe more and I see more I get more inspiration. I think I naturally try to do so. Yeah, I think I have a good relationship with Tokyo now.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but you still live in Kamakura, but how do you do your work? Is it mainly remotely, but you have to go to places or?
Yeah, it's basically just remotely, I mean, I play the piano, so I need to play the piano, which I do in my living room, and then when there's projects, you compose in your other room, in the composing room. So of course, then when it's you have to go uchiawase or something, you go for dinners, and of course sometimes when there's recordings, but there's not that many, or there's not recordings every week, So I can perfectly also be in my house and not go out, which is a very nice privilege, I have to say, because you can work in your pajama basically, and nobody sees you. It's good. And then in between you can go and have a swim. It's also not so bad,
Actual
swim. Yeah. I mean, now the summer is coming up, so come
Wow.
the beach is really nice. It's gonna be nice for the next 2 months.
Wow. Do you do like barbecue and stuff in your apartment?
I actually just got a set, so maybe I should try. Yeah. I've never done it, but maybe yeah. I do a lot of parties, yeah, for sure.
I have to go to his party.
Yeah, it's nice.
I missed the opportunity because my life was just updating, changing, so it's been a while to see him, a year or more. So good to see him, but
yeah, you should come again, and we should do it from my veranda. It's completely different in the city because it's just jungle everywhere.
One of my friends, she moved to Kamakura because of the same reason as yours, and she bought a house by the ocean, and the beach, and we did barbecue and just potluck party. Oh my goodness. So nice.
Yeah, it's good.
It's different feeling when you're doing Tokyo.
Yeah. Also, time flies differently. It passes differently. It just goes somehow. I don't know. Does it actually?
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know.
Yeah, it feels different.
It feels different. I don't know if it necessarily flows slower, because just time is just so fast.
Yeah.
Let's not even go there.
Then I think as an artist yourself, it's better to stay in that kind of environment. You're closer to nature and more distance and less people, and you focus on yourself and more ideas and it comes up.
Yeah, I mean, when you already have your kind of established, career, let's say, in a way that, you don't need to go and drink every day to network, then I think it's okay. When you start off, I would not recommend anyone to move to a countryside village and then stay there because it's not going to really work,
Same.
Yeah.
So unless you have a program like a job program or teaching job, and I recommend you stay in big cities like Tokyo, especially Tokyo maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Tokyo is the place, definitely so.
Okay. I think we were talking about something like. We
all drift off.
What was it?
What was it?
What was it?
Oh, it's so funny.
So working as an independent and なんだっけ? But you touched
we were talking about something.
なんだっけ?
And then
なんだっけ? 永住権でもカバーしたでしょ今?
Yeah, and then what?
なんだっけ? なんかめっちゃ盛り上がったよね。なんだっけ? でもあれじゃない? ジャーマニーとポーランドの。
Oh yeah, maybe.
そう。でもmaybe we can touch that. なんだっけね。なんか楽しいよね。でも待って、外人コミュニティについて聞きたい。
Okay.
Because we were talking about him earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So since he has aged PR in Japan for 10 years or more, right? I mean.
Yeah, I think after 10 years you can get it.
Okay. So he's been living here since 2006 and pretty long, and as a foreigner, gaijin, and lived in Kamakura and Tokyo. And I want to know about the gaijin community in Japan, Tokyo. So my friends are half foreigners and Japanese, but so I'm in kind of the circle, I guess. But at the end of the day, I am a Japanese person, so I don't know. How do you mingle and how do you relate?
All right. So I think when I was in Tokyo, it was mostly there was a very strong kind of gaijin community that I was in. A lot of friends, but they're all kind of doing this artistic, creative.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you're that, so must be.
Yeah. So it was more like there were designers, fashion, whatnot. Those kind of people, artists, and I think for me I felt well in this kind of environment because I don't know, I had nothing to talk with sorry guys, bankers or something. You know what I mean? It was just a different kind of different story. So I think it was just that, and there were a few Japanese people, but I felt always it's like there is those people who speak English. And they've been living abroad, and they belong there. And the people who don't speak in English, it's just not really gonna work. I mean, I'm talking about the Japanese people,
Different mindset, mentality, Yeah.
And I still even now I have kind of not a problem. It's just, I don't have many Japanese really good friends. You know, I have some, but it's just it's kind of not the same. It's mostly will be like probably like gaijin or Japanese people who lived abroad
Like
for
me,
a while.
yeah.
Who are like kind of, you know.
And also, I think there's a language barrier, and you speak good Japanese now. But how did you like learn it? How long did it take?
Oh, I started to learn because as I this epiphany moment when I came to Japan the first time in 2003. And then immediately I started to learn Japanese. You know,
Did you go to language school?
No, I bought books and then I was just like learning it.
マジで?
Yeah.
すごいね.
And so I learned it for 3.5 years. So when I arrived, I was good enough to go for nomikai in just Japanese. You know, so it was not perfect, but it was just.
すごい.
But I was really studying it. I was really like, you know, I had like tangocho and like kanji. I bought the whole like book, the Joyo kanji.
Like self
practice. Yeah. But I mean, I feel that Japanese was just another language because I feel in Europe people speak mostly already. Like I spoke already 2 languages, 3 languages because also of English, you know. So I feel you kind of know how to learn a language. You know what I mean? You know what to do. Kind of, you need to learn this.
確かにヨーロッパ人だったらできるかそれ。
Yeah, I mean it was still very hard because Japanese is just crazy. It's the opposite. Everything is the opposite.
Opposite, yeah.
Yeah, but once you start thinking in Japanese, it actually works.
Wow.
So I wouldn't even say that there is this, you know, now there is like a language barrier or something with Japanese people. I feel it's just kind of the mindset, what you talk about. You know?
Yeah.
Because Japanese people, when they have never been abroad, they have this kind of pre-programmed topic that you always talk about, you know, what's your main food, you know, boom. This is kind of, I don't know how many times, you know, ポーランドで何食べますかみたいな感じ。
Yeah, food is our
就食はですか like, oh, it's じゃがいも。はあ。And then you're there, you know. So it's always the same kind of topics. While I feel with people who have been living abroad, it's just more contextual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You talk about what's happening right now, and you kind of get more into it.
Yeah.
While it maybe also has something to do with the way Japanese people express their opinion.
Yeah.
Because Japanese people are not very good at expressing their opinion.
Yeah, true. And how we are trained is that you say stuff that teachers or people above expect you to say. So I don't do that, but like so we are not meant to have our feelings and opinions. It's just なんだろうちょっと他の人に合わせるとか、なんか what the group says, what the society wants. That's you. Because you don't have your identity almost yeah.
It feels a bit like, you know, like if you're watching TV, the continuation of TV, you know what I mean? What you hear on TV, it's always the same.
確かに
And people want to hear this, no? It's always you see this program and it's either kawaii or oishii,
Yeah.
something like this.
外国人は日本が好きみたいなとかね
So it's always going to be the kind of the same thing, but it's never really outside of what's really there. But I mean, this is just how things work here, and I don't really criticize it because that's just the way it is. You know? And I feel people still connect on a different level, you know, on a different emotional level. That they really like each other or not, even if they have the same kind of stupid small talk.
Yeah. I know what you mean, yeah.
But you still know if you like this person or not, you know, if it's funny or not. You know, it's still just those nuances, those little nuances that you connect with. With gaijin, it's mostly more straightforward. You'll be talking about politics, right? So it's like, boom, I hate this guy is good. And then you either connect or not. You know, this is what it is, you know, it's more straightforward.
True.
So it's just different. I feel it's just different. And yeah, but the reason, I don't know why I don't have so many Japanese friends. I don't really know. It's always hard.
I think another reason is that it's hard to find like artistic or like those なんていうのちょっとロジカル的じゃなくその artistic like Japanese people who knows like who tend to be like Japanese and like artists. I don't know.
That's very hard.
Yeah, like it's really hard to find like bilingual artists.
Yeah, I feel it's. I mean, because it's again the education. I'm teaching now at the university in Kyoto. That's why I'm here, by the way. And you know, it is an art university, so everybody's an artist. But the only thing you hear is like, okay, I want to get a job, become salaryman. Nothing to do with their study.
Yeah.
They just study because they just want to study something. But I think the kind of mindset that you need this. We're back at this 9 till 5 situation. That's so strong, you know. This
People's dream is 공무원. No.
Coming or just like ante is the most important thing, and then of course then it's going to be hard to kind of think a bit outside of the box.
Yeah.
You know, this is very unfortunate, but
Agree.
I mean, I don't have anything against it because that's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, and it works pretty well. But it's just, you know how. Some people will not become happy with this. You know? I always felt that in Japan they have this very good kind of cap on where, you know, how happy you are and not beyond, not below. You know, everybody's just kind of in the middle.
なんかmiddle そうだね。
Yeah.
Like also like salary and like the people's happiness. I think it's the same. Like maybe meet the なんだろう中の下ぐらい。
Yeah.
This stays
It really depends, nah? But then I feel in Europe and America and the Western countries, it's more ego oriented. You know, everybody's like me. It's just me, you know. I'm gonna like become whatever, and then of course, if you don't succeed, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Or even if you don't find what you want to do, because I think this is the biggest problem. Most of the people don't even know what they want to do, especially now with those wonderful devices. You know, and then it's a big problem, you know. And also another thing that always strikes me when I go back to Europe is that Japanese, in general, I feel Asian. It doesn't, you know. I think it's also some sort of like Kyoto 10 in China, maybe too. That the community is more important than yourself. You know?
Yeah.
And then that people take pride in any job they actually will do. You know, that they're actually doing it with, you know, conviction. They actually like the job, whatever it is, really. You know, while in Europe and in America, I feel a lot of jobs are being like looked down at. You know, and people are just kind of ashamed to do it. You know, and here in Japan, I feel I don't know. It's just a different system of values. No,
Like what do you how elaborate? Maybe.
Okay, so let's say. For example, you know, it's no discrimination whatsoever. You know, now you go like somebody is cleaning the station. You know, in Europe, just simple example, people would be just like, oh, this guy, you know, whatever. Nobody would even look at him. You know, they would spit and I mean, you know, they would not like insult him, but it would be not nice to look at. You know, people would be just not nice to him. While here in Japan, people would treat this guy with the same respect that everybody else.
And that's me. Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
And this person also would do the job with a kind of, you know, let's say grace. Even,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good thing about Japan. What I like about Japan. So collective society. It's good and bad. But what I like about it is that we respect people and. Especially the cleaning stuff, I also do have a huge respect because I think one of the reasons is that so in schools, especially public school, we clean the room after we. Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. I told this to everybody in Europe, and they're like,
yeah, because that's your stuff, like your responsibility, your mess, you know. So that's how we are taught, and I'm glad that you know I got it educated in Japan. That's that part. You know, I'm glad. So
I think this you know we can learn. They should learn from each other, you know. So I feel like there's a lot of. Taking care of others is within Japanese education, which is fantastic. But at the same time, you know, a little bit of this individualism is not there.
Sure. Know? So they don't have opinion.
But you know, it's. I feel it's always like a balance. You need to find the balance. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Europe, it's a lot of things you take for granted. What's yours? You deserve this. You know, deserve. It's funny. Have you ever noticed the word deserve doesn't exist in Japan? It's a non-existent. It's just あるべき、与えるべきとかみたいな。
確かに。
It doesn't,
ない。
it doesn't exist because it just doesn't exist, you know. This thinking doesn't exist. Deserve.
確かに。
It's crazy, you know.
確かにそうだね。与えられたものあるべきで、確かにそういう言葉使うかも。We use those,
Yeah.
given or give or
But it's not
we
the
have.
same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
確かにそうだ。
It's very, very interesting, you know. And so, but you know, even in Europe, when you go like to this ego stuff, you know, and you're like, everybody, that's what they told you at school. The first thing they tell you, you know, like, oh yeah, you have to like I don't know, in Deutschland we say, in Germany they would say Selbstverwirklichung, yeah, self-realization. Basically, you know, the ego is the most important thing, I feel, you know. But then, you know, when you reach your kind of, you know, midlife, you realize that you have to get rid of your ego because this is what drags you down.
Yeah.
You know? Like, so, hello, can we just start already from the beginning with a little bit more of a balance there, you know?
Yeah, I think balance is key. And for me, learning English was the key. Was the, how do I say, game changer, and enabled me to discover that individualism and ego. And I was in a situation where I couldn't have that, but I always had that, kept that in myself. But learning English, it was a ticket to get out of the situation and go abroad and find myself and who I wanna be and who I am. So I think, yeah, learning the language was English was the really big change. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. I feel everybody should learn a language and go abroad once to see your country from another perspective,
True.
which is just completely changes. You cannot learn this in any books, on any TV, YouTube, whatever. You have to do it on your own.
Agree.
But at the same time, ignorance is bliss. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I see a lot of Japanese people, they don't want to go abroad. Mm-hmm. You know, like from the beginning on, they don't, because they feel that they could discover something that would like destroy their kind of core belief.
Which is kind of ironic because our passport is the world's strongest one, and we can go with like without visa, we can go to pretty much any countries. But Japanese people don't want to get passport; they are not interested, and they say that the one who never been to abroad tend to say 世界一のなんとか. Like, because they don't know the world. Like, 世界一の means like world best XYZ. And the one who never been abroad tend to say, this is the world best XYZ. Because they don't know how big and how they don't know what they don't know, you know. So, yeah. So, what changed your perspective towards Poland and Germany when you moved to Japan? Like how Japan changed you? Like,
I mean, I already had this a few times because, you know, I grew up in communist Poland and I moved to Germany, which was already like moving from black and white to color. It was like very crazy, you know, it was literally very crazy because communist Poland was very lo-fi, let's say, you know. And then you move to Germany, it's like, whoa. It's like coming to Tokyo, basically, kind of situation. And then, of course, then I spent some time in Europe, and you get used to everything, all this like stuff in Europe, you know. And you also really start to realize that everything is kind of the same in Europe.
Okay.
You know, because it doesn't matter if you're in Amsterdam, Paris, or Berlin. It's
like
kind of the same shops, everything becomes, a bit different culture, but the core culture is the same.
How would you explain that?
People eat bread, people eat cheese, you know, people eat pizza, you know, this is the culture, you know what I mean, just about food, you know what I mean? And people speak English, you know, and people can communicate in the same kind of mental scope, let's say, you know, they would be very straightforward, you know, most of the time, so that was it, you know, and I was already getting like too in Amsterdam, I was like, oh yeah, this is not good. We have to move here, you know, move from here. You know? So I've never been to there, but like Amsterdam?
It's
a very nice city when you come as a tourist. To live there, I felt it was, I mean, I felt very hard because, first of all, as a student, I didn't have so much money, you know. Then it's really kind of expensive, and then the Amsterdam people, the locals, they don't really want foreigners, So
Really?
yeah. The
I thought
Dutch are
it's-
very friendly in general. I have nothing against the Dutch, but I feel that people per se in Amsterdam are a little bit more like kind of, those foreigners,
I didn't know.
Because it's a very old city, and the historical center is just amazing. It looks fantastic, It's really nice. But I felt problem with Amsterdam is always everybody comes there for a year, 2 studies, leaves.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. You don't really have like this core, community. In other cities, yes, I feel in Rotterdam or something, I heard about good stories, in Holland. Amsterdam was like this kind of, you come in and get out,
I see.
Great to meet contacts. I have so many contacts from Amsterdam. Perfect, Fits. That's exactly what I wanted. But then I needed to get out of her because everything became the same. Same in Paris. It was already so close. I don't know. It's just like, you have lush everywhere and all those like
I heard.
same. Oh, Jesus Christ, And then you come to Japan and it's just basically being an avatar. Yeah, different world kind of. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't even because I.
You're Japanese, you don't know, but everything works. Everybody's friendly. Nobody takes tip.
That tip. But Europe,
Yeah,
no
but
tip.
no,
No.
but even then, people. I mean, they still expect a bit of tip, and the service is just really not so good.
Yeah.
It's-
Especially
it's-
German, like
wherever.
Yeah.
It's just no. It's again this European / especially I feel European deserve mentality. They deserve. Everybody deserve. They deserve this. Like what the hell. Like
Funny. Yeah,
So-
that's a really good point. Like, well, I didn't even notice. Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a.
確かに.
But that was not only that. I feel also that there is something with the climate here in Japan. It's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, like sunny days and
Sunny and moist. I mean, at least for me, some people can't handle this, but I love when it's moist and you just look. Everything is just genki. Look at the nature here. It's just crazy,
True.
It's just so genki. There's so much water and everything,
確かに. We don't even notice, but I noticed something about Japanese people in Japan that they don't like sun. So in like terrace seki, like terrace chair, like outside chair in the restaurant, I always go there because I love the nature and being outside, eat outside. But a lot of Japanese people tend to avoid the terrace seat and be inside, and they just even daytime they just close curtain and they just avoid and they put on light instead and like. That's like
that's a bit
Japanese
weird.
people. Yeah. So they don't, because we have sun and we don't appreciate, I mean, I do, but like a lot of people try to escape from it. Also, the moist, we hate moist.
Yeah.
Nihon, like Japan is so humid. But coming from Europe, I think
it's
you
so
guys
nice,
appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, you're screaming like everybody who comes here, they're like, "What is this? Looks so nice, and the hair is
know.
so much nicer and everything."
Hair,
Yeah.
I noticed like hair.
Yeah. When you
Girls'
go to
hair?
Europe, it's just, you have no hair. It's just I go there like, oh my god, it becomes usui.
Like
this
usui and
is-
dry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
thin and
here
dry.
it's just like everybody like, Jesus Christ, like
know.
Afro style, out of nowhere. It's really good. No?
It's straight and like, especially girls' hair is so beautiful. Like
So that's what I'm telling you. It's a different energy. It's just parallel universe. I feel in Japan is everything is home.
Interesting. Like, a lot of people say like food is great, it's cheaper, safer, but he's giving me like different perspective as a European. So yeah, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Apart from the food, which is fantastic, really fantastic. I mean, everybody who always comes here, they take like, not like just normal shopping. They just take like veggies, cabbages. Japanese cabbage is so insane. Like everything tastes so much sweeter here. I think maybe it's also the soil or something.
But they also modified なんていうんだっけ 遺伝子 like 遺伝子
You think so?
So I think they modified
Yeah.
to make it sweeter like
Yeah.
ichigo like strawberry it's it's so sweet I like it but at the same time sometimes like it's kind of artificial like it used to be more like sour, like
まあね、
strawberry.
まあね。
So it's good and bad, but like I feel like it's becoming too sweet. So
Yeah, they're obsessed with the sweetness, huh?
yeah.
It's crazy, no? When you eat the suica, that's just insane sometimes. Just like, whoa, what is this? Is this even real? Feels like somebody just had like, just put in sugar in it.
Also, they only pick the good quality one. That's why we have a lot of waste. Waste, like for like food especially. So because なんていうの the quality なんていうんだっけ英語で
Inferior food?
No なんかそのなんていうんだろうなんだろうな like quality assurance It's なんていうのはいなんていうんだろうなんか
日本語で
ちょっと待って日本語でも出てこないやなんかさ品質管理のために
quality control.
So quality control is pretty high. So if you go to, for example, Thailand, it's a kingdom of fruits, but not every fruit is sweet because it's randomly is placed. But in Japan, everything we buy is carefully picked. It makes sure it's sweet one. So we have a lot of waste because of that. Yeah. So
I didn't know about that.
So だからfruits tend to be expensive, like it's so expensive in Japan because of the reason, because they pick only good ones. So
Yeah, but when you eat them, it's nice. This is again thing. When you're in Europe, when you eat like suica, it doesn't have any taste at all, and it costs like €1 per kilo. But still, like I think it's quality is better than the quantity in the end. No?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
we care a lot about quality, so I think it's applied to everything. But so that's a good thing. And what do you don't like about like living like in Japan? Like what do you find?
I don't know. These days, because I used to have small things that I don't like, but these days I've been to India quite a bit these days, so I think it changed also. So I'm more in the mindset now, like just take everything as it comes, and it works actually,
Yeah.
So there's nothing really like that I'm really like. I'm really hating in Japan. I don't know.
But what about now? In the beginning? Maybe you get used to it. You're just letting things go. But like in the beginning, when you
there is still sabetsu. I feel there is still
discrimination.
Discrimination. Yeah. I mean, I felt it quite a few times. I mean, just those kind of classic situation when you look for an apartment, and the first question is gaijin daijoubu desu ka? This is just for a European growing up in Europe with a European education. It's just like you can't have this,
Gaijin 大丈夫ですか means I'm foreigner. Is it okay? Do you take foreigners?
Do you take foreigners? I'm like, what is this question? Anyway, but this thing also I felt also work-wise it's kind of the same, So I think there's this at least in my field there's a glass ceiling kind of situation. So I think it's easy to get jobs to a certain level. Everything beyond that is reserved for Japanese. That's what I had as experience.
I see.
So it was just kind of like, okay, all right, now I understand, So,
like
but
that, as a Japanese person, I can imagine how it works. Like for example, do you
I mean, that's just a simple example. You want to compose for NHK TV enterprise dramas. It's 99.9% is not going to happen. As a foreigner, because it is this. But at the same time, these days there is an reigai. There is somebody actually a gaijin is composing for that. So there is also those exceptions. So not everything. That's what I'm saying. It's all in your perception. Is it really all like this, or is it just happened to you because it was just
Sure. You know what's funny? A lot of some of the gaijin, like foreigner friends I have, I mean they complain about Japan, but the one complains more is the one who don't speak Japanese.
Oh no, you have to speak Japanese. I mean, you have to speak Japanese. If you want to live in Japan, you have to speak. No, not even in Japan. In any country, I feel if you live in any country, you have to speak the language. It's just the way otherwise you will not understand how the country actually works.
Yeah, the core part especially. Yeah, it's okay to travel and enjoy without speaking the local language. But if you live here and you wanna have good life and both see good and bad part of Japan and think how things work, then you need to speak Japanese.
And it's not so hard if you already speak another language rather than your native language. I think it's not that hard.
How would you say, and like how did you why do you think so? Because I know my language is really hard.
No, but I mean it's the grammar is simple.
True.
Pronunciation is basically non-existent. Simple. It's because it's just very simple. So the only thing you have to learn is that the word order is different, and you have to learn the words. That's it. It's not so hard. Literally, it's not that hard, I feel. But then you have to make the switch that you start to think in the language. But it's with any language. I mean, when you remember, if you're not an English speaker. If you're an English speaker, just forget about it. It's not going to happen. You will never speak Japanese. I mean, it's going to be very hard. But when I think everybody has the same moment when you start to learn English at school, and then you actually have to speak it. At some point, you have to start to think in this language. Otherwise, you will not be able to speak it.
Yeah.
And this is the moment, when you get the switch, it's not that hard because as with every language, most of the time you use all the time the same expressions. You always say the same kind of things. It's not that you like talk about philosophy or like debates.
確かにね、it's like template. I mean, of course you have different topics, but you pretty much talk about like normal day life like interest, food, like
exactly. And also what very helps a lot is listening to Japanese J-pop songs because the lyrics are always the same there.
Sure.
It's always the same. And if you remember the lyrics of those songs, use those words. It's always the same.
あなたのこと
の好きにと一緒
待ってるよ。
今日も幸せ boom done
確かにそうだね。I think when I was learning, I'm still learning, but when I learn English, I listen to I love music. I listen to favorite music.
There's a piano right there.
Piano, yeah. And that I observe a lot of expression in the lyrics and words that used in daily life, not only from the textbook. So I think listening to music is one of the best way to learn that.
Very good, very good. And I have to say, alcohol definitely helps. Because I mean, especially for the Japanese when they want to learn, I think, a language.
Sure, I wanted to point out. So Japanese people, everyone has two faces, but Japanese people really, those two faces, the gap is so huge. And
it's crazy.
It's
oh my God, just one drink sometimes.
Yeah, if they drink, then they show two faces, like the other one. So I think alcohol can break the ice that Japanese people have.
Yeah, and especially with the language, most of the time people have a problem that they don't want to make a mistake.
True.
You have to make a mistake to speak it. Just speak it. It doesn't really matter, and then you will find out.
Yeah. And let's say you're talking with Japanese people who's learning English and they said, 恥ずかしい, I'm so shy to speak English in daytime, but maybe if you get drinks with them, then maybe they will speak more.
Or they will tell you everything, literally everything, starting with Shimoneta,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, alcohol and Shimoneta. Shimoneta, なんて言うんだっけ? Like dirty talk?
Yeah. They love this. It's kind of part of the culture,
確かに、I know like a lot of Japanese people are shy, but you can use alcohol. I mean, you can have a good time with them with alcohol and food. They love food, so I think there's a way.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of Japanese culture that I also I enjoyed a lot when I came here. For the first 5 years, I was basically out every night, And then of course it's helpful when you're in Shinjuku, not in somewhere at the end of the world.
Yeah.
But we moved on. Now we're somewhere else, and so let's see what's going on now.
Yeah. I see. 確かに、でもお酒で結構変わるからね。
結構すごいだと思うね、本当に。 酒がなかったらね、もうだからどうでもいいじゃん、話すの。
確かに。
話すみたいな感じ。
One of my ex-bosses in my second company, and he is a Japanese person, like a very serious guy, and he worked in a finance field, so it's extra traditional and strict. And we didn't get along, but that's why I left. But anyways, he is very serious in daytime and workplace, but of course everyone has stress and they need to release that. So I think that was like alcohol for him. And as soon as he got maybe 3 or 4 drinks, he talks more, and like he opened up his personal life and he brag and like all those. So you can reveal the true self of the person by alcohol, especially in Japan because we have the two-face,
But that's
culture.
what they do. I think they do it on purpose, every time. You know how in Japan it's not like in the States or somewhere, when you get introduced and you work together. It's not gonna happen in Japan ever. You need to like spend at least 2 years drinking because they need to know who you really are.
Yeah.
So they will get you drunk, buy you dinners or whatever. You might as well just do it like together.
So yeah, I remember what I do naturally. So when I meet a Japanese person, maybe especially guy, I let them drink, then see how they act, because that's the true self.
Yeah, right.
And they open up their mind. So yeah, I really don't see it. Then whereas foreigners tend to be, they don't change much. They become like more enjoyable. But Japanese people reveal true self. That doesn't really happen. I mean, sometimes, but it's not that different,
Yeah, maybe, but we also have this saying in Europe, in vino veritas, so it actually is the same.
Vino
but I
veritas.
think in vino veritas means in wine the truth. This is exactly what
what's
we're
the language?
It's Latin.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, but I feel Japanese people are particularly you have to give them alcohol to find out, otherwise it's just not gonna happen.
So that person, like true self, So yeah, so that's what I do. I think girls, is the girl same?
Oh yeah, it's even better probably.
How do we?
Well, girls become. Everybody with alcohol becomes more passionate and more. You want to become touchy, and you want to, become more horny. I assume, no.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's just everyone, So, and girls particularly, they have this very, very shyness in them. They cannot do anything. But when you get them drunk, they do anything. So, I mean, maybe not anything, but it becomes a little bit what they really want to do. 本
音が出るね。
そうなんですよ。
建前、本音と建前。本音 is there なんていうんだっけ？本音と建前。
なんだっけ？本音なんだっけ？ The real
本音
pleasure, not pleasure, the real
opinion, real
なんだろうな。
なんていうんだっけね。
The real
I forgot the particular sentence for English, but 本音食べる。Yeah. So they always have two faces, basically. Yeah, we're saying. So 本音 is your honest opinion, and 建前 is kind of なんていうの? The cap or a wall that you put in front of you.
In front of you, yeah.
And you show the only good part or what the society wants. But you have this. Of course, everyone has opinion and honesty, and you can reveal that by alcohol. Yeah.
Which does not mean that we're promoting alcoholism.
No, we're not promoting.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are shy, but maybe you can get a couple drinks and
That's good.
That's it. Yeah,
good way
I forgot.
To start,
I forgot about the drinking culture.
Yeah, that was very, very, and I feel they drink much more than people in Europe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was just me. It's just people just crazy. When I was working for this company that I told you, the
Japanese company.
Yeah. I was just part-time, but still, they were going out every day.
You were invited, nomikai every day.
Yeah. I had nomikais every day. So I feel, wow. Maybe it's, I don't know, it doesn't change. Maybe it doesn't change. If you go to Shibuya, you go Shibuya, Yokocho, it's every night it's crazy,
確かに、Shibuya meltdown. the account, Instagram account. You know?
No, what happened?
I'll show you later. But so there's a Instagram account called Shibuya Meltdown, and it captures all the drunk people on the street.
Oh, okay,
and,
okay.
Yeah, it's funny.
Not for sure. So
Yeah.
it still continues, obviously. You know, I'm just not into it so much. You know, just how much can you drink? You know.
Good for you. You already experienced the life in Tokyo life. Then you moved out, and but you still get a advantage of like working like close to Tokyo.
And if I go to party, you can just go to Tokyo real quick. You know, it's
確かに。
really. I was also thinking of moving to Kansai, you know, to Kyoto or something, but it's just, I don't know, it's too hard.
But you come here like every week.
Yeah, I'm coming here every week.
And
yeah.
rent is so much cheaper.
I know. But now I'm lucky over there.
Yeah, right.
And I love the ocean. I live 10 minutes from the ocean. You will not get this here. You know?
確かにそうそう。それ one thing. So you want to live by ocean, maybe Wakayama or down in Osaka. It's not so convenient. So.
No, it's far. It's really far. You know, I was even thinking of Shimoda. But like, you know, but that's
It's
just
kind of too far.
so far. You know, you cannot do anything. You can't just go like Uchiawase and come back, you know.
And they don't have like Shinkansen either,
No,
right? Yeah.
no.
Shimoda is a なんだろう、Shizuoka Peninsula. What I forgot the name.
Very beautiful.
Izu Peninsula is like the south. なんて言うんだっけ？最も南 south.
What is it now? The furthest south point, maybe? Most southern point.
Most southern point. Yeah.
There we go. Jesus.
Yeah. So Shimoda, yeah, he's. Yeah,
it's a very nice
beach.
ocean place. It's a very nice ocean place, which you can go from Tokyo. But it's not a day trip. Most of the time it's not a day trip because it takes you by car at least 4 hours.
And no, I stayed there, but like not much なんだっけ hotels there.
No. So, you know, you have to kind of know. But the ocean is nice.
Yeah.
Really
I ended up staying in like super local shitty place.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, wow. With too many mosquitoes.
Oh no.
Like,
Well, you let me know next time. I know a place. You know?
Yeah, well.
I know a bunch of good places.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will be in his apartment
next time. We do the Kamakura and then we get a little bit of the
maybe
real
music
show.
part and
Play some piano and...
He has a grand piano over there, so...
And we can have a shot of the jungle from my house, which is kind of...
Let's do it.
Lovely.
Let's do it, yeah.
Great.
So, I'm gonna put your Instagram, and what do you use? What else do you use?
I mean, obviously, you know, because I'm old school, I used to use Facebook. Not really looking at it right now, but yeah, definitely Instagram. I don't do Twitter situation or whatever.
I hate it too.
Don't know, I can't do this, you know. But Instagram, yeah.
Okay. So, what do you also like? As you work as an independent person, so maybe you something to promote. I don't know. If some people are looking for something, they can contact you or done something like that. What can you offer? If I mean, I can do banso. I can do any accompaniment for. ちょっと待って、バッテリーが。ちょっと待って。
まだ大丈夫でしょ？
大丈夫。Yeah.
So any composition for any kind of genre, I do.
Especially what?
Well, I'm classically trained, so I do orchestra, of course. But then, of course, I do a lot of pop stuff. You know, I'm teaching also orchestration and arrangement at the university, whatever. But you know, pop stuff, electronic stuff. Just go to my account on Instagram. The first reel that we just did was something really kind of fun that we did recently. This is kind of a collaboration of different genres. Also with AI video, which is kind of funky. So I composition at any time. Of course, piano performance. I'm actually really good at Chopin because it's my thing. You know, I studied it full on. So I am Polish, let's say. You know, so I just kind of really like to play it. But it was just so overplayed that I don't know if anybody wants to listen to Chopin anymore. No? You know what I mean? It's just like, oh my god.
They do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do too, because I used to play too. But piano, at the end of the day, it's a relaxation. Like, people look for it, you know, the sound.
Okay. So if you need a Chopin concert, just contact me anytime. I have a big repertoire. Also, like any other stuff, I do a bit of jazz, you know, pop stuff.
Okay. Okay.
anything.
Perfect.
Right.
Nice.
Great. See you guys.
Maybe so. I have a lot of foreigner. Like 98% of my viewers are foreigners living outside, and a lot of people want to move to Japan or learning Japanese and interested in Japanese culture. And what's your advice to them? Like either like the Japanese learner or like anything you got. What's your message?
Japanese learner. I mean, literally how I learned Japanese was with Japanese for Busy People. There's 3 books. Buy those and do every day. If you like study every day for half an hour, you can speak it in 2 years. And then buy the kanji book. Then it's easy. And learn a few kanjis a day, and it's literally doable, absolutely doable. And for moving to Japan, just enjoy the ride. I don't think it's actually that hard. I mean, it is hard, but it's also fun. It's because you experience so many things. That's why you're moving to Japan, no? Because it's so different and because it's so challenging, no?
Well, sounds very positive. I thought like a lot of people say like it's like it's hard. And
No. My nephew just wants to. He just had an epiphany that he wants to move
the
to
guy
Japan.
I saw.
Yeah.
I remember him.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, just come. There's a lot of stuff to do here. I think there is a lot of opportunities for everyone. You just have to find your your niche, and it's just there. It's a huge country with a lot of people, and people are really open-minded. Just in general, it's not like this island of weird closed people. It's not. It's absolutely not. Especially not Tokyo. So if this is your dream, it's really no problem to do it. I think.
Yeah, just do it, right? And find out. And if you don't like it, you can always move up.
Yeah.
So nice. Okay, so I guess it's time. So thank you. And
Thank you.
let's do another one in your apartment.
See you back in Kamakura.
Yeah. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.